Memories stain the earth like blood. The soil has been wronged, and it is not quick to forgive. Civilization moves on, taking, building, dominating the haunted ground. But some remain motionless, mourning the loss of worlds that crumble beneath their feet. The video game Kentucky Route Zero, created by Cardboard Computer, Tim Winton's novel Cloudstreet, and the artwork of Naji Al-Ali all explore the experience of anchorlessness. They grapple with the struggle to build new relationships and communities upon the foundations of shared loss. What I'm beginning to understand as I delve into these texts is that interpersonal relationships and geographical relationships are dependent on each other. That even when our homes are gone, we can't be separated from them. That houses aren't homes when families are divided. That as we remember, the land remembers, even when concrete buries the ground and the sun is blocked by skyscrapers. Kentucky Route Zero is a video game about lost people. A delivery driver, Conway, is scarred by regrets that he drowns in alcohol. A repairwoman, Shannon, searches for her enigmatic cousin, Weaver. A boy, Ezra, lost his family at the bus stop and never found them again. As Lily Alexandra pointed out in her essay,
that's barely acknowledged in the story, nearly all of our characters are homeless.
The characters find each other by little more than coincidence. They are loosely bound by Conway's antique delivery to a mysterious 5-dogwood drive. All they share is the experience of aimless drifting. They drift between small American towns and capitalist nightmares. They follow paranormal roads and rivers through the Echo Cave system beneath Kentucky. And at the end of it all, they emerge from the caves to find the remains of a town, much of it flooded the night before. It's a bizarre final act in which you explore the flooded town as a cat, the first time you don't control one of the protagonists. The cat observes the conversations of characters, some familiar, many not, so they face difficult decisions, including whether to settle down and rebuild among the remnants of the town, or to continue roaming the plains of America. The place was once owned by the monolithic Consolidated Power Company. After, it was reclaimed and rebuilt by its people, who formed a community free from the fingers of untamed capitalism. They built a library. They had a low-budget TV station, a runway for an old man's plane, a barn for 2 unnamed horses. The library was washed away though, and the horses died in the flood. Throughout the final act, you catch glimpses of shadowy figures, sometimes a brief description of a time long past, the alien carcass of a wrecked garbage truck that made more sense in death than life. Shadows phase in and out of view until the final scene, a funeral song for 2 horses you don't even know. Gradually, the shadows build up until there's a massive crowd of ghosts, humming along to a song that speaks of heaven, a home that will never be broken.
I know I shall meet him at the gate when trials are past. I know I shall meet him face to face in glory at last. Oh, I believe that when we meet, well done, he'll say, while trusting my soaring deep in love, I'm going that way.
The people, unified by loss, find within themselves reasons to care, even for horses without names. The funeral director tells the crowd that they are free to leave the town, and they're free to stay. But if they remain, they'll be building on a grave. But the whole world's a grave after all. Kentucky Route Zero depicts the deterioration of interpersonal and geographical relationships. Few have homes, and the town is washed away, yet everyone is connected to the country they've built their lives upon. There aren't many houses around, and that's because most of the houses were picked up, occupants and all, and put in a giant museum of dwellings, as if the few real homes must be preserved, lest that history be lost forever. It doesn't work, of course, stripping homes from their land, putting them in a barren warehouse, because homes are inseparable from their surroundings, history, and neighbors. The failure of those geographical relationships is intertwined with the failure of family relationships. Ezra is homeless because he lost his family. Conway leaves because his alcoholism has driven away almost everyone he loves. The predatory economic system wedges people further apart, as mounting debts drive rifts in relationships. The heartbeat of America itself grows faint, distant. And at the end of it all, in a washed-up town, you're faced with a decision. Can you build a home on a grave? Can you build relationships in an age of funerals? An old spiritual answers these cries as a traveling band plays while floating down a river.
This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone on before, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
In Tim Winton's acclaimed novel, Cloudstreet, Number 1 Cloudstreet is a house haunted by the ghosts of the former owner and an indigenous suicide victim. Years later, it's acquired by the Pickles, who split the house down the middle, creating 2 yards all of a sudden, the trees divided, and a big ugly fence. This allows another family, the Lambs, to rent out the other half of the great empty mansion. While ghosts rarely make a direct appearance in the story, the house, with its groans and creaks, reminds the occupants of its ceaseless disdain. Early on, the house is described as not belonging to them. They're lost. Mr. Lamb describes how, "I used to hear it moan, not the wind, the ground, the land. I told myself it was the horse, but inside I knew it was the country, moaning." Like this house. You think maybe we don't belong here? Like we're out of our depth, out of country? We don't belong anywhere. But despite living in hostile architecture, both families begin to love the house. Quick Lamb flees at 16, but finds Cloudstreet had a hold on him. And he comes back, although he couldn't think why he should stay in the place, half falling down as it was now, empty of children and rarely the scene of much fun at all. Again he runs away, this time with his new wife, Rose Pickle, to build a new life with her in a new house in a new suburb on a new street. A small, neat house, away from anywhere old where people have been before. But not long after he arrives at his new home, a black man tells him to go home. This isn't your home. Go home to your home, mate. Cloudstreet is Quick's home because of the family he can't leave behind, like his brain-damaged brother, Fish, who needs Quick as much as Quick needs him. When he runs from that family responsibility, he finds himself trying to figure out what I lost. Number 1 Cloudstreet is an anchor for Quick, grounding him in his family identity, the only identity he has. When he acknowledges that anchor as a comfort, not a curse, he realizes why he can't live anywhere else. But what of the black man? The man who told Quick to go home? He's never actually given a name. He's implied to be indigenous, but really, the reader doesn't know anything about him, except that he's enormously out of place. The tragedy of Cloudstreet is that no one ever asked him what his name was, or what he did for a living. No one asked him if he had a family, or if he liked football, or what kind of games he did like. No one invited him to the pub. He wasn't particularly likable after all. Like those of his generation, he watched while his home and his people were stolen away. He hasn't got a home to go to. Not on this side, at least. The side of what? The side of the river of life and death, of time and space. He's never seen with a mother, brother, or friend. You can't really be home alone. Homes aren't built from emptiness and silence. His great continent has been broken, rebuilt by strangers, and blossomed, though he does not recognize the flower. Someone else's now. But they're building on a grave. I live on that grave. The same city, the same river, some 60 years later, along with 2.1 million others. In Murray Street, the very heart of Perth City, you can read the grave's inscription. That's all gone now, which isn't to say Perth hasn't blossomed, but rather that its roots sit in soil stained with memories. Indigenous Australians relied on Perth's extensive wetlands. They were places of abundance to Noongas who lived off the water birds, frogs, gilgies, turtles, and plant foods so prevalent in the swamp. Fanny Bullback, a Noongar woman born just 10 years after the Swan River colony was established, gathered up the scarlet fruit of the zamia in its season along a walking trail. As she aged, fences and buildings sprouted up like weeds, blocking her trail. This didn't stop her. She clambered over and walked through these vaporous obstructions. She walked through the wetlands that were her home until they didn't exist anymore. Today, an estimated 10% of Perth's wetlands remain. The cost of Perth City was paid by many, like Bullback, like the Black Man. The cost of American industrial expansion was paid for by many, their bodies literally brewed into alcohol, their skeletons put to work, like Conway. And what do these echoes of bygone eras do when their worlds no longer belong to them? They look onward, beyond the Echo River, beyond the Swan, beyond even the eternal river of life and death, to a home beyond the blue. They sing.
Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do?
The question in that song always kind of gets me. Its writer seems uncertain of whether their faith is well placed, but they cling to that dream of heaven desperately. It's all they have.
Feel at home in this world anymore.
When I think of the homeless, in the deepest sense of the word, I remember Naji Al-Ali. Al-Ali was a Palestinian cartoonist, best known for creating the figure Handala, a 10-year-old, barefoot child who became a symbol for the Palestinian resistance movement. I first discovered Al-Ali while going down a rabbit hole for a modern history assignment, and his images have remained fixed in my brain ever since. This one in particular is burned into my brain. The dry, cracked ground is carved up by the Star of David, imposing itself on the ground. Handala leads his parents away, creating a physical border in the ground with an AK-47 hoeing the soil. A border created through gunfire. It's undeniable the extent of the damage the Israeli invasion has done to the land and its people. But hope remains, through the love the Palestinians have for their land, manifested in the lone wheat stalk. It's a hope that exists within inescapable darkness. This piece was one of few pieces Naji Al-Ali created, where Handala's face is turned towards the audience. Handala is typically depicted facing away, forever watching his world be torn apart. But I don't think this image is a commentary on an ongoing crisis, like most of Al-Ali's cartoons, but instead a symbolically illustrated memory of when Handala first left. After leaving, Handala was always looking back, stuck in the past. Since he remains in those memories, he never ages. He's always depicted as 10 years old, the same age Naji Al-Ali was when he escaped that same war-torn homeland. Al-Ali never saw any resolution to the crisis he depicted during his lifetime, a lifetime which ended abruptly in 1987, when he was murdered by gunmen in London. Handala, haunting the world and graffiti scratched across Palestinian and Israeli territories 3 decades later, sees no resolution either. He watches, unable to rest, waiting to come home to a place he can never return. He is the eternal refugee. I don't have any answers for him.